The studio lights dim, the cameras stop rolling, the applause fades into silence. Judge Judy, the woman who built a courtroom legacy on truth, accountability, and fearless judgment, sits back in her chair. But today, she's not speaking about lawsuits or petty disputes. Something in her eyes has changed, humbled, curious, almost reverent. After years of listening to the brokenness of people's lives, the deception of this world, and the decay of morality, one question has lingered in her mind, quietly pressing against her conscience. What is the truth of life? And unexpectedly, her search for answers has brought her face to face with a religion Western media often misrepresents, misunderstood and maligned for decades, Islam. Her voice carries the weight of surprise and sincerity. I thought I knew everything, she begins, her words crisp and clear, but beneath them lies a tremor of awakening. But what I found in Islam was not what I was told, not what I was shown. It was something deeper, something foundational, something true. But she pauses. This isn't a woman used to second-guessing herself. Known for her sharp tongue and razor-edged rulings, her career has been built upon exposing lies, tearing down illusions, and forcing the guilty to confront themselves. But now, for the first time in a long time, she's confronting her own misunderstandings. What Islam teaches about life, she continues, is not what the world wants you to hear. They want you to hear noise, chaos, extremes. But beneath that noise is something profoundly human, something profoundly divine. She speaks slowly, deliberately, as if each word has been weighed with a lifetime of experience. You don't judge a tree by the noise of the storm. You judge it by its fruit. Behind her, a reel of news headlines play silently. Explosions, terror, chaos, war, all stamped with the word Islam. But then another reel appears, softly lit faces, families in prayer, people feeding the poor, scholars in deep thought, children memorizing the Quran by heart. The media never showed that part, not because it didn't exist, but because it revealed a truth that could reshape the world, a faith built on 5 pillars, she explains. Testimony, prayer, charity, fasting, pilgrimage, a system not to crush you, but to liberate you from ego, from false hope, from illusions of control. She leans forward. I've seen people fight over property, life for money, destroy families for pride, and for what? A life that ends, a body that ages, a heart that stops. But what Islam does, she says, is it calls you back to the source, to the one who created life and who defines its purpose. She picks up a small notebook from the table beside her. It's filled with handwritten notes, underlined phrases. This is a woman who has spent her life demanding evidence, and she found it in the words of the Quran. She reads aloud, do they not reflect upon themselves? God created the heavens and the earth and everything between them in truth and for an appointed time. She looks up from the paper, her voice thickened by revelation. I used to think religion was just a comfort blanket, stories, wishes. But this felt like a verdict, a call to wake up. A montage flashes across the screen, the faces of men and women she's judged. Those who lied to protect their egos, those who fought over wealth they didn't earn, those who thought justice was a game. It's strange, she says softly. The courtroom taught me that justice on earth is flawed. No matter how balanced the scales are, human justice can never be absolute. But in Islam, justice is not a negotiation, it's a divine command. A law that doesn't bend for power or wealth or fear. Her voice begins to carry something else, sorrow. We live in a world where truth is a political weapon, where the rich rewrite history, where pain is packaged as entertainment. But Islam says the truth is not yours to change. It belongs to God. Another clip appears, this time of Muslims in the West, a black convert reciting the Shahada, a Latina mother finding hope in the Prophet's teachings, a teenager who walked away from gangs after discovering prayer. They didn't find violence, she reports. They found value, they found identity. They found purpose. The world watches Judge Judy, someone who built her career calling people out, now calling out an entire system of misinformation. There's a reason, she says, why billions of people across centuries, scholars, kings, peasants, children, found peace in this faith. They weren't brainwashed, they were awakened. Her voice grows more intense. Because Islam isn't just a religion, it's a reminder that life is not random, that suffering is not meaningless, that every breath is witnessed. She flips the page, now quoting from the Hadith. Verily, God does not judge you according to your outward appearances and your wealth, but rather he looks at your hearts and your deeds. She pauses, her eyes glass over. All my life, I judged people by what I could see. But God, she says, judges unseen. A shift happens in her tone. It's no longer analytical, it's confessional. You begin to see, she continues, that the greatest injustice is not what happens in courtrooms. It's what happens inside souls when they forget who they are. The narration slows. Judge Judy reflects on her early life, Jewish upbringing, legal education, the pursuit of justice. I was always searching for order, reason, morality. I saw the world breaking itself in half, yet the answers were right there, spoken through a man who lived 1,400 years ago. A man who said the best among you are those who have the best character. But as she speaks, she knows what awaits: resistance, accusation, outrage. The narrative wars between East and West are never just about religion, they're about power. She looks straight into the camera. I've delivered thousands of verdicts, but this, she states, is my final one. Islam is not the enemy. Ignorance is. She exhales knowing the storm is coming. Because truth is always the most dangerous thing you can say out loud. The camera slowly zooms out. The soundtrack deepens. Her voice fades into narration as a broader world begins to speak. News anchors issuing warnings, politicians making statements, social media filled with shock, debate, fear, and inspiration. This is not about conversion, she clarifies. This is about conversation. This is about asking, what if the truth we fear is the truth that could save us? That her final words echo the theme of faith and justice that have woven through her life and career. Islam teaches us that life is a test. that death is not the end, and that justice, true justice, is coming not from judges, not from governments, but from the one who knows what was hidden and what was true. Then silence, a fade to black. And one final message appears on screen with no music, only words. When the world finds the truth, it doesn't end, it begins. The video cuts, the mystery remains, because every ending is only the beginning of a bigger unseen story.